6.76 miles, 50 minutes, 34 seconds. That was a through a city street. So not a lot of high rises, I would say mid-rise buildings, you know, 3 to 6 stories on each side. A lot of times I was running right up against the building because of pedestrian traffic and running on the sidewalks, things like that. So it'll be interesting to see once we take a look on the big board how that all looked. Leaving work a little bit later than yesterday. It's a little bit darker than yesterday, but this is day 2 of the Vivoactive 3 torture test. Today, I'm gonna run the same run going down the Riverwalk and the Lakefront Trail and see how I do. Yesterday, I ran with just GPS. The tracing was remarkably good given the circumstances. Today, I've turned on GPS and GLONASS, so we're gonna see how we do with the second satellite, see if that makes a difference at all. I'm only run almost the identical route, which doesn't really make that big a deal because ultimately I'm comparing it against the actual tracing of the route I run since I remember which way I went today. My favorite part of run commuting is that I'm not fighting to get on a train and I'm not sitting in traffic. Taking a little bit of a detour today. I'm about 5.5 miles in. I left work a little bit late today, so I gotta run straight to daycare to pick up the girls. So far, I don't know. I think GPS by itself might be more accurate for where I was running than GPS plus GLONASS. Just finished the run. Strava has me at 6.76 miles, 50 minutes, 34 seconds. I don't know what kind of pace that is. Anyway, feeling pretty good about the run. The nice thing about the detour today is the part that I skipped from yesterday, that tracing was extremely smooth with GPS only, pretty much stride by stride. I think like that's where I was. But the part that I went on today, that was a through a city street. So not a lot of high rises, I would say mid-rise buildings, you know, 3 to 6 stories on each side. A lot of times I was running right up against the building because of pedestrian traffic and running on the sidewalks, things like that. So it'll be interesting to see once we take a look on the big board how that all looked. But now first, pick up the baby from daycare, go get the daughter from after school. Whew, that was a good run.
All showered up, had a chance to take a look at the GPS tracings for today. I'm gonna put them up so you can take a look at them. The first one I'll show you is the tracing from yesterday's run, which was with the Vivo Active 3 smartwatch with GPS only. I took a route along the Riverwalk in Chicago, which is on kind of the south and, well, I think there's a Riverwalk on both sides, but when people say the Riverwalk, they mean the south side of the river, and it kind of curls along the direction that the river goes, along the kind of the north end of the loop. And the actual path that I took is a little bit jagged because the path isn't like a complete straight shot. You're kind of hugging some of the water line, and the way that the path goes, it kind of funnels you left and right, and you're kind of going up and down like a couple of stairs here and there. So it's not going to be completely straight. I don't anticipate it to be completely straight. There is a spot from the tracing on the GPS only where I think it's absolutely spot on, despite the fact that I'm at very difficult, I think, GPS conditions. And now I'll compare that to GPS plus GLONASS that I used for today's run. And surprisingly, this one is a lot more off. And so I took a slightly different approach to get to the Riverwalk today. I took Franklin Street up rather than running up Wacker, which is what I did yesterday. I think what that did was it made for kind of a smoother approach. So kind of the GPS had a better ability kind of to anticipate where I was going. Whereas the direction that I took today, I kind of went across a bridge. I think I made the watch think that I was going to continue going across the bridge, but instead I went directly down. Yesterday I took like a ramp to get down to the Riverwalk. Today I went like directly down a couple flights of stairs. And so I think that kind of threw it off. And then from there, it had a whole bunch of problems kind of re-picking up the GPS signal. So it was a little bit more, or a lot more jagged today. So that was a little bit disappointing and a little bit surprising in that it wasn't better. I don't know that that's necessarily a factor of the GLONASS edition, though. Part of it, I think, is the approach, and the approach, I think, matters because a setting that I found in the watch yesterday, or maybe it wasn't in the watch, I think it was I was looking at the Garmin app, but through the Garmin app, you can change a setting on the watch that tells it how often to kind of pull data for your GPS tracing, and I think that's where I'm going to get the biggest change in results. And I'll have to play around with that. I don't think I'll make a separate video about it, but I probably will take a look at it over the next couple of runs. Now, the default setting on the Garmin Vivo Active 3 is for like smart recording. So think of it as like, you know, if I were to kind of track the position over time, how often am I like pinging the satellite to see like where am I, right? And so it's set to smart recording, which I think is several seconds apart, right? You can change the setting to be as frequent as every second. So every second it can ping the satellite and get location information. I think if I increase the frequency, it probably has a decrease or a negative effect on battery life. But I'm thinking I'm going to get a more accurate tracing. And so I think on days where I know I'm going to have a more GPS challenging run, I might change that setting to see if that gives me a little bit more of an accurate result. But until then, I probably will keep GPS plus GLONASS on while changing the frequency setting to see if that gives me a better result. Another thing that I want to show you today is that I found in my Strava feed amongst the people that I'm following someone different than yesterday, but someone to compare my run against, someone who ran the Riverwalk as well today at about the same time. So it's about the same place, about the same time. I don't know if this person has a GPS watch or a phone, but you can compare it to kind of see what other people are getting compared to what I got today with GPS plus GLONASS. This has kind of become a really weird obsession for me in terms of getting a really accurate GPS tracing. Ultimately, I don't really think it matters that much, but I just can't. It's one of those things I just can't let go. So I'm going to look at it a little bit further, but don't worry, there won't be any more like detailed look videos at it like today, but maybe a couple months down the line I'll do a follow-up video on the watch, let you know how I'm doing on it, kind of let you know what my settings are, But until then, this is probably it for kind of super GPS obsessive videos about the watch. And I appreciate all of the new viewers and all of my longtime viewers who have been following me along kind of on this journey. Tomorrow is Friday. I'm not sure what's going to be going on for tomorrow. My office, I moved my office today and yesterday, so I'm particularly tired from like moving a lot of not too much furniture, but boxes and setting up stuff and things like that, plus all the running from this week. It's been a moderate amount. Fortunately, the weather's been really, really nice. So I'm just exhausted. It might be a rest day tomorrow. I'm not sure. I never know how to close videos. Thanks for watching is kind of always what I want to say, but that seems really weird.
Yo, what's going on?